Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the third episode of the Imagination Podcast. Here is your host, Jared Gingrich, accompanied by my panel of
Johnny Ray,
Angie,
Ruben.
All right, let's get started with another fantastic night of recording and chatting about the indie game industry here for you fans. Indie Assault developments, very important. We had a wonderful playtest last Wednesday. Let's just discuss some, recent build developments, including, Ren's Neutral Special.
it needs a lot of polish right now. It's overpowered, but that's good to start off where something's overpowered and scale it back, then try to improve.
Yes.
Because it's taking away assets I would think would be easier than adding.
Let's detail how it works exactly for them.
Since she kind of does this cool lurch forward and she shoots this ball of death that catches you and it just holds you there for a couple seconds, doing a little bit of damage.
So it stuns them.
Yep,
Awesome.
stun. Then I was having fun, stun, run up, charge smash,
Bam.
gone.
Nice.
Well, I guess we probably just need some fixing on there because I guess it can also get stunned too if you walk into it. So when you try to follow up with the combo, you get frozen too.
We should just leave that in there.
No.
But,
No, Jeremy.
Thanks. What the punishment? Any ideas or any feedback on Ren's Blitz Assault that has been hacked in there, put in there, implemented?
Her starting animation's way too long.
But it looks so cool.
It looks cool, but it makes it so easy to dodge it.
Yeah, I think it needs to go all the way across the screen. I think it only goes from her character to the rest of the screen.
Yeah.
So then everybody else behind her doesn't get hit by it.
Yeah.
And she's song and dance.
Yeah, it's she does Luigi's Brawl one, but then fires Mario's special. It just doesn't work right. It does not work. I was impressed by myself that I actually got one hit with it.
Nice. They didn't do that immense damage. It's just boom.
Yeah.
And what I've seen now.
It's supposed to flip back around, isn't it? Or
I don't think I hit anybody with it.
Yeah, originally it was supposed to be almost like a screen filling move. It basically hitboxes the entire body of it, and then it comes in through the main platform. So think it Imperium City would be the lowest platform, and then it would come back straight down and just dive through the platforms because it's a ghost dragon is how her incantation of her game reads.
Yeah, a vertical and diagonal. Right now it's just the diagonal part.
Right now she just throws dragons.
Yeah, pretty much she just throws dragons.
That's how you train a dragon.
Yes.
Oh god.
How do the balance changes for Spade? Do we feel he's better suited? Now that he's been refined and he's not too just.
I didn't play
done.
Spade as much. I was just playing Ren because I was too stoked on that neutral special. Honestly, I don't remember much about Spade personally.
Okay, when did you play Spade?
Yeah, so I probably feel like I need to just play against each character more to try to see more of the balancing, but it.
Were there
I think
subtle
there
changes done to him?
Just the down special was nerfed, so you didn't have as much knockback to where he could run in and try and combo with it in motion.
Yeah, I think it wasn't canceling as much of the other moves, but I guess we could have some more time that we do that when we do our playtest to kind of just okay, these are the changes, and then what do we think about that and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, it'd probably be better if we had a list of things so we can go and test it right away instead of just, jumping in okay, let's see what happens.
So basically print out the work assignments and are all these done?
Yeah.
That? Okay.
just so we know what we're looking for.
Okay, yeah, because I emailed that to Johnny.
Yeah.
Johnny Lucas every
I'll start printing them out too.
Okay, yeah, that works because my
Got my mom a new printer, so let's make use of it.
Perfect. All right, let's go on to talking about Warren from Bleed.
Oh, is that how you pronounce it? Warren?
I thought it was Ren.
I thought it was Rin too. It would be confusing with the Rin that we already have.
Yeah.
Could call both go by Rin.
Well, if I'm thinking it's the W of Warren. Wyron?
Or Ryan,
Oh,
maybe.
Ryan? Warren?
Warren.
So it looks like guns can bring down any hero. Any thoughts on that?
I really like her bullet time type of thing, like building a moveset around that where she could alter her own trajectory type of thing. Like her special, like just activates bullet time so she falls slower so she could aim better.
Would we go with the dual guns or the rocket launcher?
Well,
Because this has a rocket launcher.
yeah, she has a rocket launcher, she has dual guns, she's got machine guns, she can dash. So probably all of it just like mapped to different moves.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Haley, the only thing is we already have Haley who's the heavy gun-based character, but
Zoning character.
zoning character. But yeah, so but since her guns perform differently, it could be interesting to see her as well, and she'd be a lot faster too.
I think she'd play like an RPG character where like you do light to moderate damage and you have to like run in and melee. That's kind of my feeling. Almost like Deadpool, the Deadpool game. I played it. Yeah, I did. But yeah, with that game, it didn't do much damage, but definitely your melee attacks was where it was at.
Oh, so maybe like, well, I guess she would still be pretty fast, but it probably wouldn't just have an auto fire gun. It would kind of be,
That would be way
pretty
too
much.
crazy.
but well, like because didn't we bring that up about certain other characters, like just, like if they had extra dashes in their like original game, then maybe they wouldn't be as much in Indie Assault, or depending on the like how true they're gonna be the character, or how, or if that
Have
would
a
be
catch
too.
modifier.
Yeah, if it would be too broken, like in the
Yeah,
game, if they.
because there are certain characters, how they perform in their own games, translating it into a game that has to have balance
Yeah.
can be difficult.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think for like back from like Money Number 9, it would be his up special would probably be his dash. So to keep unanimous with his game.
yeah. But like in Smash Bros, like wing characters and like Kirby and Jigglypuff have like 5 jumps, but they just really increase their how light they were. Like really decrease their weight so they get launched super easy. So we could do something similar to that.
Put different physics on them.
So that would be my thought.
Any thoughts on her?
On her specifically, she's a cool concept, and I would like to see maybe her used, but I think with us already having Haley as our zoning character, we don't really need any more right now. I think we should try focusing on someone else, trying to find maybe an RPG based character, because we already have a fighting based character, a platforming based character, and a zoning character. So
I'd have to say no. My vote is no. Just that I feel like she'd be too limited with her current moveset from her game.
yeah, she doesn't have enough of an arsenal to build into a really unique moveset.
Yeah. Correct. Alright, guess moving on here. Dust Force, Dustman, or Dustgrow discussion. Did you guys get a look at that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I really like the concept. I don't know exactly how they might fit into Indie Assault, but that looks like an awesome game. I definitely want to check that out.
I definitely, one of the things I liked about the Dust Force was, how easy we can incorporate all 4 characters into our game just by, the different specials and the color swaps. We could be like, bam, Kid Duster. What is it? Vector Duster, Dustgrow, Dust Guy. That would be awesome. That's kind of more like the Castle Crashers.
I just don't think like whacking everyone with the broom is gonna really fit into our game.
And building a whole moveset around that.
Or it was Spade.
Building a whole moveset around that, I don't think it would be as... It'd be a lot more challenging with not as much reward for it.
Maybe the vacuum guy.
I think it would be...
No.
I think since the broom would be their mainstay, I don't know how they'd hold a weapon. Because Tidus is supposed to be 2-hand sword, but he's boom, I'm a badass, I'll use 1 hand. They're just straight 2-hand on their
Yeah, so...
A dual weapon.
I mean, unless we have them karate, broom wielding, where they're twirling it.
Doing something with it.
Like their neutral special, they kick up some dust that just puts you into a confused state. Or, how Mewtwo's disable works.
The disease state.
Yeah,
Or blind you with
Exactly.
dirt or something.
yeah. But I mean, building a whole moveset around that, I don't I don't see
think
this
so.
being able to do. Plus, their environments are a little too understated to make into a full stage.
I have to disagree. I think it would be really fun. I just feel like it feels cliche. Like it feels like it's just like an easy asset. Like it's not very distinguished. Any feelings on that, guys?
Well,
Like it just
well,
like
translating
grass.
What do
into
you mean, like,
3D
just,
because
Like it looked really simple to do.
Mhm.
Like you know, almost like in Smash Bros. Like just the stage bit it just looked like a place card placement. You know.
Like nothing too exciting.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
well, some of the 2D visuals, but I guess translating to 3D would be more simple unless they like put more of a either like textures or like a painting of background or something.
Or just leave us a 2D plane. 3D characters fighting on a 2D plane. Then make the characters model 2D and just be done with it. Like Game & Watch.
no. Hitboxes won't work with that. But for character, if they're listening, whoever, I don't know if the developer was, my bad. But I vote yes for this character. I think they're really creative. I think it would take a lot of work, but I would be down for it. Any feelings on that, Angie? She's shaking her head just like, no.
I don't think they fit.
Yeah, I don't think they fit at all. I mean, that'd be like putting Cooking Mama in Super Smash Bros.
She could. I mean, she'd be like, a little...
Hit you with the frying pan.
whatever that villager dude, whatever he does.
Mario would be slapping her. Get back in that kitchen.
Mm.
And I'd just be like, oh, well, that got dark quick.
Okay.
There's nothing epic about being a janitor.
Especially when your main concern is spikes.
Okay.
Spikes in games. They just mean auto death for some reason.
Yes, it does. All right, moving along here. Philia from Skullgirls. Let's just kick us off with that.
I think she'd be overly difficult to implement, especially with her hair-based attacks. I mean, and transitioning her from her beautiful 2D art to a 3D model accurately would be very difficult too.
It would be easy. I just think it would be like a nightmare rigging her hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Because her hair is like snakes, isn't it, or something, and just like goes everywhere. It's like, ah! So
Mhm.
It's like living hair.
Their hair like eats you and stuff.
Yeah, she can crawl. Like she can even use it to like walk too.
yeah.
Because like rigging that is like kind of like what we were saying about like Slender Man. It's like almost the
Exactly.
Yeah.
same. And then with all the air combos and stuff, like I mean, probably not gonna do that in there, but maybe some of her other just like regular movesets could be implemented. But
Yeah.
that'd be probably too difficult to.
I mean, because I've seen Skullgirls referenced on our list of like games that should be represented, but I mean, it would have to be Philia since she's kind of like the front runner, and and transitioning her into our 3D fighter right now. I mean, if we had like a super budget, I'd be totally down.
We had like the most badass rigger. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, I got this. But,
Octodad, no sweat.
yeah. I mean, beautiful game, beautiful art style. I just don't think it would be in our realm of possibilities right now.
Tossing my hat in the ring, I'll say great move set to work from. The character's dynamic. As I said, like, with the limitations we would have in place for our indie game, it would just be, I think, so influential on the character that would diminish from her character. And I would say yes, but only like a decidedly no, just due to the fact that we couldn't dynamically recreate her as we'd like to, represent her as in our game. Because her game uses not only a different fighting engine, but a different fighting style from us, which, as us fighting game noobs or, pros, we like very, very set on how we like to see, and I think that's an issue where, we don't want to compromise for, her character or our game.
Plus, we wouldn't want to hear people complain that they can't do the same exact combos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because ours is, directional based, but that's my thought on Philia. Close that one out. Alright, go to very decidedly interesting topic here. East versus West discussion. American versus Japanese design and personal preference. The different cultural backgrounds help to firsthand design the story experiences and the game mechanics. As you can see, we listed some, thoughts on the subject here that the team has and they're looking over. But with that, Angie, you want to start off? Are you a big, overseas gamer? Do you ever
Well,
play like any anime
I've played
games?
both Japanese and American games. I like both styles, but I've mostly played RPGs. And like from the article that you shared on the notes, I played Devil May Cry and Capcom, and I remember complaining about their camera angles because the Japanese seem to focus on being engaged in the specific angle they want you to play.
Yeah.
Without you controlling to look around too much.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand now why they want to do that, to force you to go into a hallway without peeking over to see what's on the other side.
Yeah.
Or like in Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think Resident Evil.
Yeah, Resident Evil is definitely a big one for the camera, just because I know it's stylistic, but a lot of time it can be really obnoxious, the camera angles in Japanese games, just because I'm a heavy Japanese game player, mainly JRPGs. I play Wars.
He is.
I mean, if you show me a Japanese game, I most likely can name you what it is. But I also play a lot of American games, Call of Duty, Uncharted, games like that. And the big thing I've noticed is story themes are often very different. Like American games feel like big budget action films a lot of the time. Like Uncharted, you're always falling off something, something's exploding, you're running, stuff is always going on. And like even Last of Us, which was a high drama game, still felt very actiony in a lot of its moments.
Mm-hmm.
While Japanese games are focused heavily on the character drama. So that's why I like it more, because I'm more into characters than anything else when I'm playing a game. Characters and the plot.
Mm-hmm.
Like Final Fantasy VII, for instance.
Like Final Fantasy VII, yeah. Where the characters can go on super long spiels, and despite them being those little tiny blocky models, you can still feel the emotion off those characters. You can still feel exactly what they're going through, despite the fact that they don't even have face rigs.
Yeah.
I lost my chocobo. Help me. Well, I think one thing is they're very expressive in how they design their characters and also how they express themselves. Like Lollipop Chainsaw, a lot of the animes, Let's Go the Dead. I just feel like with the way that they're connected to their characters is a good demonstration of how they look at their culture and just constantly fleshing it out, pushing emotion. And I think in the States, I feel like we're more fixated on the gameplay, I want to say, over the characters in some regards. Like Call of Duty, it's a second-to-second gameplay. Or I feel like sometimes you're looking at an overseas game, Resident Evil, the story and that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Then again, I mean, the article we looked over was about how their mechanics are very in their way.
Resident Evil really evolved from the first one all the way to the new one.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if it's for the better.
Yeah, I agree.
It's that all games have to become kind of mainstream to survive nowadays mentality. Like Resident Evil's become more of a shooter. Dead Space has become more of a shooter because those games sell easier.
Right.
And while the horror genre is really hard to keep alive. I mean, Until Dawn looks amazing, but I'm not sure how well it's going to do, even if it's an amazing game, just because of the fact that it's solely a horror game.
I have to agree with that, just because looking back at reflecting on recent games and the expectations from I feel like Beyond Two Souls, for I think it was PlayStation exclusive, could have done better, but I feel like it was not what people exactly felt like their average game. I think that was
Be homeless for 2 hours. Oh.
Yeah.
that was depressing. That was a very depressing game.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, that's interesting, you're saying about the article and stuff, and it kind of showed that even though, I guess the American is more, film influenced and cinematics and stuff, Like in Japan, they're very story driven too, but I guess in a different way. Like they use more, like they're saying the camera angles to do more of a point. Like they're saying they feel like less the need, or they have more of a need to do that, the controlling the camera to like have it more like as a, like if they're watching a film, and even though it's like different in America because it's more like when you're controlling the character, you're moving the character around, and depending type of game, if it's like a sandbox or something, so it's like kind of different. That, and I guess like more of the culture too, like if they care more about a story, or if they want to have more freedom or do different things, or their attention span is different, or different factors. But I don't know. Like I like both styles, and like they're saying about different things. I like the design style, visual style. Like sometimes it's more colorful, and but I don't know. I like games that are like story driven, and I guess it's like kind of in a different way because like you're saying, some of the ones in America are kind of more the mechanics, and I guess some of the Japanese ones have story, but so some American too. And then depends on what kind of game it is. Like if it's a fighting game and stuff, sometimes it depends like how much of a story they have, or if you're just kind of more focusing on like the technical side of the skills or something. Because I also like to build up the skills. Like
there's a difference between getting experience points to level up your character rather than like just knowing how to nail down a move in a fighting game. It's like different.
One of my favorite JRPGs, it's Hyperdimension Neptunia, and Japanese RPGs have very intricate systems. Like this one you can like change up your combos. So like when you attack, you press the different face buttons to lead into a different attack, and you can you like find chips that you burn into discs that you use as equipment. And they're like jamming stuff into their role playing games, while games like Dragon Age, it's like, okay, here are your hotkeys. All right, here's your skills you can unlock. You're good.
Yeah.
And there's pros and cons to that, because the simplicity in RPGs can make it overly stale quickly. That's why like the older Final Fantasies, like Final Fantasy 1 had the problem of, oh, you're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. While Final Fantasies 4 and up had the ATB system. So your attack's charged, so it always feels like something's going on.
Yeah, like, or I think even like the game like Dust Forces, and like they have an interesting thing about comboing with picking up the leaves and doing different dashes and all kinds of stuff. And even that, like, it seems like, like you're saying at first glance, it looks like a side scroller, but there's like a lot more depth to it. So that's pretty interesting.
Alright. Moving on, I guess we'll go to the stage-only indie discussion. Discuss the pros and cons of representing an indie franchise with a stage alone. Andrew Rubin, do you have any thoughts on the subject?
Well, this
it's a hypothetical question. I've recently been made aware of this.
Yeah, but like clarified earlier. But well, I mean, I guess it depends. I mean, you could just use a stage, or like you might want to implement a character later, or
I'm not feeling the emotion. So it's not like I want to see the limbo stage in this game, or skip till I die, where you're like, nah, I'm not really feeling it.
Like, make it something that's really memorable.
Yeah, well, I guess if it's going to be a stage only, that should be
like really theme based, right? Like make you feel kind of like how the space one we have in Indie Assault is. I feel like that one's a memorable one because it's like flashy.
Imperium City from Megatron. Yeah, because that one has like the most personality of our stages. I really feel it's
really good. Great.
It's beautiful. I mean, it's one of the really good looking stages. I mean, not that the other stages aren't, but it's
that was one of my favorites.
And the ship comes in and starts firing, and you feel involved. I think when it comes to representing indie titles, there's a lot of games that we really can't represent with a character. That finding a way to present them in a way that everyone would be happy with, and that especially the original developers, especially games that are highly story based or like Limbo. The Limbo kid, he's very slow. He doesn't have any offensive moves, and it wouldn't be in his spirit to have him fighting anyone. But that in mind, his world is so chaotic and so dark that turning it into a stage could be fun. That it could make for a really good stage. Like in the forest, there could be water that you could drown in. The spider could come in from the side and try to jab you with its legs.
Spider.
It could make a really fun stage, but character, there's like really nothing we can do. So that's why I think that representing a character franchise just by stage alone can work if the franchise is iconic enough.
Right.
Because Limbo's been on freaking everything. Everyone who plays indies know what Limbo is.
Yes, indies, not mainstream. So any ideas with that you want to sound off on, Angie? Any additional insight you want to provide?
Well, basically what Johnny was saying was kind of more elaborating on what I was talking about, the theme.
Making it feel like its own separate entity.
Right.
That should be included. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know, exactly depending upon, who'd want to do that exactly. Because I know, they probably want, more showmanship off in a game than just a stage. But I definitely think that's a very peculiar idea, and I think it would be something definitely down the line to look forward to. Because with me, I think, there's a lot of indie games that, primarily on mobile in iOS, which is huge anymore. It's or runners, Minion Runner or whatever, and they're really, really damn popular. The home buddy couple that made, what is it? The guy where he runs and jumps and has the monkeys chasing him. What is that game? Oh, everyone's gonna hate me. Oh, it sounds like iPad, Android, and they run and he jumps over and the little monkeys chase him. That's so popular. It's almost as popular as Angry Birds. We might like to see an Angry Birds in our game. Even though they don't have arms, I think that'd be awesome.
Or think about Jetpack Joyride.
Yeah, Jetpack Joyride was...
That would be a really fun stage, but turning into a character would be so much work. So much, especially since all he does is go up and down. I mean, you could use his mechs, but that is a modeling nightmare.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah. Very, very cool game. Love Jetpack Joyride. Oh.
Yeah, I played it a lot on my Vita.
I just played the free version. I was like, dude, this game's awesome.
I got it for PlayStation Plus.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I'd buy that game, but yeah.
I wouldn't ever spend money on it.
No, yeah.
It's like, hey, you could buy 10,000 coins, $10. No.
Get back, John.
No.
Yeah. Idea. All right, let's go to my most infamous and favorite topic of the night. Sign off on Mad Max in game ideas. Who on the panel stand on the subject of Mad Max video game translating it into a quality open world shooter later this year? Are you guys amped? Do you know much about it?
I saw the trailer for the one coming out in fall.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going off of the Thunderdome, the third one, and the newer one.
Yeah. I'm gonna throw my hat in there and say I think this is a great idea. I feel like it's going places, and I think that definitely that Avalanche Studios I think is definitely taking the right direction. So much to the point, and I'm gonna go out and put my digits there that I think this game could be the undisputed one of the underrated gems of the year, kind of like Shadow Mordor was and won all those game awards for the Nemesis system. I don't think it's next solely revolutionizing any gameplay mechanics. Johnny and I will let you know. We're gonna be at E3 firsthand testing it or watching the trailer, hopefully testing it. But I think taking that gameplay, with Shadow Mordor, used the Assassin's Creed mechanics to elevate its game to the next level. I think them elevating, the Arkham style fighting combat system to the next level with car combat and all this, almost like making a really good, deep, interesting version of Rage, the game, which came out in 2011. I think if they can do that, I think it'll be very successful, and I think everyone that loves Borderlands would definitely be like, I have to pick this up.
When I first saw the teaser, I thought it was just gonna be like kind of like a Twisted Metal clone.
It did, yeah, the original. But I feel like the new one now, they're marketing it better towards like both car combat and hand to hand. I think that's where the business.
Yeah, I mean, I never saw the Mad Max films, any of them.
Oh God,
So
I saw
I
all
mean,
three.
it's been drawn and quartered.
They're
don't
awesome.
have-
You have to watch them.
Yes, we're gonna like tie you to a chair after this. And like,
I don't have much of a dog in this fight, but I mean, all the old stuff is getting revived anyway, so why not? I mean, come on, where's our MacGyver game? Come on, Telltale. Buffy the Vampire
oh,
Slayer.
if Telltale did a MacGyver game, I would pre-order that. You got my money.
That or Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
No, not Buffy.
What?
And she might be a Buffy chick, but no Buffy.
No, I wasn't a Buffy fan.
Woo! Clap for that, man.
What's wrong with Buffy?
Buffy was just. That was like the Teenage Witch. I don't know.
It was one of those great girl power shows.
I don't know.
Like Charmed.
It's too
Oh
corny.
my God! My first
It's too
roommate
corny.
loved that movie. It was like Charmed. I'm like, how are you like a chick watching this?
You know she gonna say you didn't like Sabrina?
I didn't like Sabrina either. No.
Sailor Moon.
Oh, I like Sailor Moon.
Thank God.
Sailor Moon. Yeah. Yeah, that's old school, but yeah, I liked when I was growing up.
Fighting evil by moonlight, bro. Winning love by
Sailor
daylight.
Moon.
Never run from a real fight.
Were you in love with Tuxedo Man too?
Huh?
I said, were you in love with Tuxedo Man too?
No, I just want to be like him. I mean, come on. You get dumb blonde chicks to fall for
Yeah.
you. What else could you want?
Alright, let's continue with this train of thought. Love Mad Max. Terrific job, George Miller. Can title this long in development, hold on to its own, and really be competitive come this fall.
Duke Nukem forever.
I mean, I've been reading up on it, and I've been like, I really want to give an honest answer. I think it's gonna go with a yes. I think since the game was canceled and rebooted, I think it can succeed because they have a better team in place, and I think they have a better understanding of what they're going for. Like, for instance, Indie Assault was canceled and then rebooted as... No, Fighting Fighters... No, I'm sorry. Not Indie Assault. Fighting Fighters was canceled and then rebooted as Indie Assault. So, I think that with the right direction and a more vigorous feeling of what you want and what the community expects, I think that's it.
I mean...
Johnny's looking, he's like, hell no.
I mean, the thing is, unless they started over completely from scratch, then there's still going to be remnants of the old ideas, and they might, like Duke Nukem, try to conform to those ideas. And a big thing with Duke Nukem Forever is it felt super dated.
Yes.
Because they were doing all the 90s stuff.
Yes.
I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. I mean, lines like that killed in the 90s. Now they just sound overly cheesy. I mean, it surely got Duke's original voice actor and all that, which, awesome, it's a nostalgic throwback, but they would have had to make it into, like, a parody of Duke Nukem games
Yes.
to make that work. Because trying to present that as serious now, it's ridiculous.
And the gameplay wasn't there to hold it up. Like, it was like they left in, like, I played for like almost an hour and a half. And it was like, the entire time I was like, what the hell is this?
How many
Like,
blowjobs did you get?
I played around with my boner stick in the restroom, but, I was like, this is not, a game that I can see, myself really getting behind, and just after an hour and a half turned it off. Like, it's garbage. Like,
Yeah,
don't want to go for those achievements. Don't care. Just,
in this day and age, it just doesn't work. I mean, from what I saw, though, it does look really good, and it does look like they're taking a page out of Borderlands' notebook. I mean, because Borderlands is really successful.
Baby.
I mean, it's one of the greatest multiplayer games that we have now that's not overly expensive because it has 4-player local co-op, which is unheard of nowadays.
Yes.
So, going off of that, it can be very successful, but having such a long development cycle, that means that they've been testing and trying a lot of different ideas. So either A, everything's going to be completely fine-tuned. It's going to be beautiful. Or B, there's going to be so many remnants of old ideas that didn't go anywhere that it's just going to feel like a jumbled mess.
All right, great feedback. All right, throwing this out to Ruben. Ruben, taking into mind Destiny was in 10 years development before it released. How do you how do you feel that can add to or subtract from Mad Max's quality or prestige? The movie's an absolute hit. Even people dislike it for being rebooted 30 years after. Negate that aside, it's such a successful movie, and having that big crowd moving towards it. How do you feel Avalanche and Warner Bros. Can take the game and make it successful through the summer with the marketing?
No, I mean, that's the factor. It could depend if there's like hardcore fans or whatever. I'm not too sure about like the other. You were saying like the other one was in development for a long time, and then like kind of what Johnny was saying too. I mean, I guess it kind of just depends on.
Give us your honest opinion. We heard Johnny.
Yeah.
It's you. We want to know what you think.
Well, I mean,
are you excited? Are you amped? Do you think
I think it looks cool. I mean, we were saying since it has been a while. I mean, they haven't made other games like in the same era, like Dukes of Hazzard and stuff like that. So it's like it did take a while to make it, but maybe with the next gen and stuff. Because even with their movies, like their first couple movies, and then progressively, since there's more technology, I think they got more defined in like what they were trying to go for, and then that hopefully that can translate into the game too, because it looked like kind of like what Angie was saying, the third and fourth ones, they had more technology. It was more. It looked more. I could see more what they were trying to go for.
Yeah. And
hopefully that can translate through the game. And I think if they can pull that off, then it should be successful. But I guess just.
There's a lot of gamers in their 40s that grew up watching Mad Max and still play games.
Yeah. But knowing Warner Brothers, they're gonna try to shove in some like crossover somewhere.
I don't know, but
oh come on, with Jason Voorhees and Predator showing up in Mortal Kombat.
But so this question, toss it to either Angie or Ruben. With that in mind, do you think it's a fair trade? You know how big that EA is banking on Battlefront. They've went on the record to say that they're expecting about 10 to 13 million units shipping of Star Wars Battlefront, because that franchise is rebooting, as we all know, at the end of this year with the new movie. Do you think that the success of Mad Max can reboot that game to success? Do you think that's a fair comparison, or you think that's just Star Wars is such a behemoth that that's its own thing?
But that was already a game before, because it's kind of different if you're changing a movie into a game. If it was already a game, but they're just rebooting, it's kind of.
Well, it's kind of like rebooting, but it's also mimicking some of the movie. Like it's taking pieces out, but it's kind of like rebooting the old franchise.
I don't think that's really a fair comparison to Battlefront. Mm-hmm. Because Battlefront had a previous game series that people have been asking for a new one for years.
Yeah.
Mad Max, no one's been asking for a game. I mean, it'd be like, guys, the Charlie's Angels game's coming out. Everybody like, cool, I didn't ask for that, but hey, I'll see the reviews and check it out. But when someone comes up and says, hey, guess what? They're remaking DuckTales for NES. People went and threw so much money at WayForward. So that's, I don't think it's a fair comparison.
Okay, good. Any thoughts on that subject? Oh, crickets. Okay, moving on. Sign off. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in for us tonight for this hot and sexy episode of the Imagination Podcast. We really appreciate it if you'd go ahead and like us on Imagination.inc on Facebook. Be sure to subscribe right here to hear my beautiful, beloved voice with this awesome panel. Angie, Ruben, and Johnny, thank you guys again. It's always a pleasure. And also be sure to follow us at Indie Assault on Twitter. And yeah, if you have any feedback, be sure to let us know. Give us any ideas of what you want us to hear, any characters you want us to review in the post, podcast. We are happy to do it. Guys, have a marvelous week, and we'll be with you next Tuesday. Have a great day.